Facebook is going to ruin your life, and it's the starting of something big. Why? Because Mark Zuckerberg banned. You can't even say the people's names, or you can't even talk about those people that are banned, because talking about the people that are banned can possibly get you banned. So I don't want to say that because we're growing our channel. It's new. It's rapidly growing, and I don't want to risk the chance of that happening. We put in a lot of work for this, a lot of work, and I wanted to tell you that. I really did. Do you know that corporations spend millions of dollars a year to hire psychologists to figure out what you're going to buy and how, and if you're not going to buy that, how to make you buy it since you were born? We're all sucked into a program where we're losing a sense of self and becoming what they want us to be. We're programmed. We like certain things. We're triggered by certain things. Or in NLP, we say anchoring. You're anchored by certain things to bring, which is an external trigger that can bring out an internal outcome. So, for example, if you hear a police siren or you hear an ambulance, you know to pull over to the side while you're driving. If you hear a dog barking, you know somebody's probably outside, or or a storm's coming, or something. You're anchored for these things, but imagine being anchored for products. I'm hungry. Why wait? Fuck. I want a Snickers. Obey your thirst. I want a Sprite. When you hear those things, you know exactly what I mean. In a sense, you should be angry. You should be angry at people like me. You should be angry at the process and why this works. Because they've invested into getting to know your triggers so they can pull them anytime they want. That's why the video is titled The Truth About Cinco de Mayo. Because if I put something into regards of what I'm actually talking about, maybe they'll take that down. If I post this on Facebook, it's probably not going to make it. I know this. We're becoming like China. You can't do shit over there. There's no Gmail. There's no Facebook. It's gone. It doesn't exist over there. Can you imagine that? In a world where there's a possibility that anything can be taken away from you at any time and you can't do anything about it. It's not a reality a lot of people face because we're so used to having that when it gets, that is just, it's regular. It's regular to have whatever we want and we think it's always going to be there until one day it's gone. And I've seen people posting, oh, they took down my post. Oh my God, why did they do this? And all kind of stuff. And a lot of these people, they're not even politically active. They're not even saying anything that can possibly, maybe they are. Say anybody can be offended by anything, but people are soft nowadays. They're soft. They're weak. They're sensitive in a bad way. I don't believe in bad, quote unquote, but in a way that's unproductive. Skin is too thin nowadays. Veil's being lifted. Okay? Can you imagine that? There is this picture that used to float around back in the day. On the picture, it said, think before it becomes illegal. Do you realize that's kind of happening now? Think about it. If they're banning people off of social media, when are they going to start censoring your thought? When is it going to happen? Because it's happening systematically. Facebook. That's the problem. It matters. That platform matters. It determines how you value yourself. That's why it's a value-based system. The more comments you get, the more likes you get, the more shares you get, determines your worth. It does not determine your worth. But we become so used to the pattern of it making us feel good that when it doesn't get liked, when it doesn't get shared, when it doesn't get agreed with, we feel some kind of way. Some people may feel bad. Some people may feel not considered. Some people feel like shit when it shouldn't matter. This platform didn't start off as a bad thing. I think People can share, they can stay in contact with their family, friends, promote their products, their music, all kinds of stuff. Now it gets to determine what you say and how you live, and maybe influence an election here and there. I'm just a voice telling you this and warning you, because when are they coming for us? When is it going to not be okay for us to say certain things in music? When is it going to not be okay to say certain opinions in public without getting arrested and taken to jail or shot in the head on your knees? When is it going to not be okay? Because at this point, all the things that we've seen in movies and read in books, 1984, so on and so forth, slowly happening. Insidiously. It's like poison, just flowing throughout the culture. Like, why do they get to say what's important and what's not? You matter. Your feelings matter. Why do they get to shape and mold that? And who's doing this? For what reason? Are we supposed to be in the program? Do the higher ups believe that maybe we have to be in the program as a society because we wouldn't do better else otherwise? Like, is this a thing that's supposed to be? Are we not capable of running a civilized society without people reprimanding us for doing things they think we're not supposed to be doing? At this point, it might be right. Because a lot of you motherfuckers have no common sense. At the minimum, you think your job determines your identity. It doesn't. You do. And when you sit back and you think about you, what does that mean? Who are you? They say it takes a strong man to remain himself in a world where the environment is constantly trying to turn him against himself. And that's what's happening more than ever. Because the good thing about technology is it gives us more access. The bad thing about it is it also makes us more weak, because the technology that we develop turns against us. Or we turn against the principles and the ethics and the integrity of what the technology was built for, and we abuse it. And then it turns against us. So in reality, we turn against us. You ever been like what's an example? Okay, so I had a business, right? I had a business a few years ago, and it was doing really good. And I was working from home, and I didn't have to do much. I didn't have too much responsibility. I stopped caring. I stopped caring about the business how I did when I first started it. What happened? My clients were not as happy as they were initially when they took part in my business. I was slacking. This is years ago. I was slacking. I stopped caring because I was used to the success that I developed from the business. I worked very hard and I got used to that success, and I let it make me lazy. Now, I'm a hard worker. I wasn't lazy like not working on the business, but I took it for granted. Started doing other things, tried to develop another business, stopped caring about my baby, the business, because I'm like, oh, this is in the bag. No, it wasn't. Because if you can't maintain it, it doesn't matter, because it goes away and it just dilapidates into non-existence. So you have to care. You have to care. You really do. And society nowadays lacks compassion. It lacks compassion. Because you know what happens when somebody is going through a rough time? They get their phone out and they film it. And they profit off your suffering. And that's the truth. Facts. They whip out a camera phone and they profit off your suffering. I seen a cop do it. Film somebody while the other cop was putting them on their stomach, and another cop had their knee on their neck. And the person was defenseless. And the other cop was filming. Usually it's a person. There probably was a person there filming too, but a cop was doing it. They already had a fucking body cam. I don't know why they're doing it. They probably want to upload it to Facebook. What's going on? What's going on with society? There's something happening right now. There's a shift happening. And it's either going to be good or bad. Do you know you can go to jail for being an influencer in China? You know they say we got like this debt with China. If technically, I'm just saying like, if we are in debt to somebody, especially for a long time, like, do they technically own us? Like, what if we don't want them to own us? And I'm saying that like, you know what I mean? I'm not talking about like they own you and they get to dictate your decision making and no. You know what I mean. You ever owed somebody money and like you never paid them back and that person never brought it up and they kind of like ask you for favors and stuff like that, and then subconsciously you're like, oh, I never did this for them when they did this for me, so let me just kind of keep going along with this and maybe they'll forget about it, or maybe I won't have to pay them back. Like, think about that on a bigger scale. I think a lot of these minute details maximize to a macrocosm and a bigger scope of things, economically, socially, spiritually. I think a lot of these things can be figured out. It's not hard. It's not difficult. It's not difficult at all. I tried to sum up as much as I could. Based on that, the point of it is we need to do something about it. I don't have a solution to give. But what I'm doing is spreading your awareness. So again, I apologize for the techniques that worked on you, that I studied and learned from them. But I knew how to get your attention because of that. If they know how to get your attention, if I know how to get your attention based on what I know from them, imagine what else they know how to do that we don't know about. That's something to think about. This isn't like a conspiracy video. I think it's very simple. I think it boils down to numbers. Everything. Facts.